Thank you, family and friends, for joining us this evening. Another evening on your counselors brought to you by RX Passion, right? And your counselors is particularly brought to you by Romance Cafe and Flesh to Flesh. We are glad to have you join us this evening for another amazing discussion. Remember that we did say that throughout the month of September, we were going to be discussing on issues and topics that affect women. And that's because in the month of August, we spent all our Thursdays talking about men, talking about some of the things that affect men and how we could understand men better, relate to men better, and how men can be better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better mentors and leaders to the community. Okay, this evening we are talking on something very interesting, and if you're here with me, I would like you to just mention the city you're joining us from in the comment section. Do also drop your questions in the comment section so that we'll be able to answer you live, right? Now, if you have comments, you have questions, drop them in the comment section. Anything you have to say, drop them in the comment section, and we will pick it up from there. First of all, I want to know where you are joining us from. Today, we are going to be talking about how single women can enjoy singlehood, right? Because there's a belief out there that people who are single may not be enjoying singlehood, may not be enjoying life and all of that. Where this this episode is targeted towards how single women, no matter your age bracket, can enjoy singlehood. And today I'm having Maureen join us. Yes, uh, Maureen Wanchi. Let me add her right away. She is a counselor with the All Right Passion, and she's also a genetic counselor. So she gives counsel on genetic matter. Today my wife and I were discussing something, and genetic counselor popped up. I'm like, yes, that's who Maureen is now. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's her specialization, one of her major specializations. Good evening, Maureen. How you doing?
Evening. I'm fine. Oh, I did. Good evening, everyone.
How your body?
Sorry you can't see me. My body day. Oh, thank God.
Justina.
Can't see
There's
me.
Justina that used to say you can't see me, Abi. What? If I remember correctly. Okay, thank you. How Lagos?
Lagos day. Oh, Lagos. It's just school just resumed, so it's becoming. It's now a little
Yeah,
bit
the
noisy.
the traffic and all the noise
Yes.
and everything. Sometimes I
Yes.
go out and I ask myself like, is something wrong? Did they order a curfew or something because of the way the city can be so quiet in the morning? You are not seeing that rush of everybody trying to take their kids to school, trying to beat traffic, trying to ensure they
Mm,
get to school on
yeah.
time, or trying to ensure they are picking their kids on time so that they don't get penalized, right? So all
Yeah.
of that.
True.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So let me start like this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let us know you. Make we know you. Make we sabi you.
Okay, to sabi me. All
Hmm.
right. So, you already mentioned one of the things I do, which is
Yep.
genetic counseling. So I'm a trained genetic counselor. Um, I also have certifications for anger management and emotional intelligence. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
also a mental health enthusiast somehow. Yes, a mental health
Yeah.
enthusiast, at least by virtue of what I do, I have come
Mm.
somehow into the mental health space. But I serve
Yeah.
currently as the HR manager for a non-governmental organization based here in Lagos. It's called Sickle
Okay.
Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative. We cater
Mm-hmm.
to the needs of people living with
Mm.
sickle cell to ensure that they live
Yeah.
healthy lives. Yes, healthy and productive lives. Um, so volunteer work also it's here and there. Like one of my volunteer work is with All Right
Mm.
Passion. Another of my
Yeah.
volunteer work is with the African Congress of Sickle Cell Disease. So I
Yeah.
volunteer as the regional coordinator to Nigeria on that
Great.
project,
Awesome.
and a little bit of here and there. I side things that I do. Health management. Yeah, so I do a little bit of HR consulting, and also um, healthcare management as well. So healthcare management
Great.
involves maybe trying to manage a healthcare facility, maybe a hospital, a clinic,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
yes, the healthcare personnel's in charge, manage their schedule, manage their patients, and all those
Mm.
things. So I do a little bit of that as well. So that's me.
Okay.
I'm a sickle cell advocate and a sickle cell warrior as well, who has lived and thrived with sickle cell for almost 4 decades. Almost. I have one more year to get to hit that
Yeah.
fourth floor. So can
Yeah.
should I say can't wait, or we are waiting patiently?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's
Yes,
me.
of course, because
Thank you for having me.
I remember one time. Yes, thank you so much for coming. I remember one time, was in one time that your health was threatening and the rest, several years ago, and I told you that, Timori. I said, man, I said, if you mistakenly die, we go burn your, I go tell your family, say, na burn you want, people burn your body. And the rest. And I remember the assurance you gave me then. I like nothing they happen, nothing they do me. And over the years, you have become a stronger woman. You become a better woman. You have achieved more, and I'm very proud of how you are living life and how you are choosing to live life. And it's fun. That's why we are having you here, right? Because you're also one of the single
Mhm.
women out there who happen to be enjoying life, who happen to be living life, doing it well, doing it properly, and the rest. So when we mentioned the topic, what was it that came to your mind? When you just saw the topic, how single women can enjoy singlehood.
Okay, so I want to see if I got that correctly, because
Yeah.
the line was breaking a bit. So you're asking
Okay.
how single women out there can enjoy singlehood.
Yeah,
Is that the
singlehood. Yes.
question?
What was it like for you when you got the topic? When you saw that topic and the rest, what was it that just came to your mind? What came to your mind? What did it trigger? What was the thoughts you had and all of that? The first time you were presented with that topic.
Okay, so when I saw that topic,
Mm,
I just
yeah.
looked at it like, okay, enjoying singlehood. Well,
Mm,
let's see how this goes. But it will be more like an avenue to encourage people who are out there thinking
mm,
um, all is not well with them just because they are single. Yeah,
yeah.
especially for the women, and because of the society where we find ourselves, and you get to a certain age, people are expecting a little bit more, even
Mm,
sometimes
mm-hmm.
more than you are expecting of yourself. So people
Sure.
around you are expecting it,
Sure.
and then you see your
Mm,
friends are getting into this other phase of life. So I just felt, okay, this is something I could just use to encourage people out there. I didn't think so much of it. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I think I'm having fun with this
mm-hmm.
singlehood thing. Yes, there are days when I feel like, where are the husbands now? But then I'm still having fun and all. So that's just it. I felt it's a way to encourage people, actually.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you. So, from your experience as a counselor, working with people, working with tens, hundreds of people over time, and the rest, What are the challenges you will say you have seen with single women?
Um, Challenges most times come from within, like immediate
Okay.
family, people who, when they don't have
Yeah.
great support system, when they don't have people who understand them within their support system. When I mean
Mm.
understand the situation of things within their support system, especially for people
Yeah.
who have chronic illnesses. I mean, today I was talking with somebody, and I remember telling him that we're just talking about, oh, this is what I think about the future. These are the ifs, what ifs I have in my
Mm.
mind and all.
Mhm.
And then he was like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, no, because the person is a guy. We too, we are thinking how to hustle this money. At least we'll fit, make we fit, pay bride price, take care of children and all. And then I told him that sometimes my friends and I, maybe in the same age
Mhm.
bracket, we've come
Yeah.
to that realization that not everybody is going to get married, even though we desire it, even though the society portrays it that
True.
we need it and
True.
all. But
True.
sometimes we just sit down and ask ourselves, okay, so when you hit this milestone, or when you hit this certain
Mm.
age, what do
Mm.
you want to do if that
Okay.
Mr. Right is not yet there? So what do
Mhm.
you want to do? So some of us have decided, I have friends who have decided, oh, I'm going to adopt a child, or I'll look for a surrogate mother,
Mm.
I'll look for, things
Mm.
like that. Me, in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, there is no man, there is no child. I beg, no, just enjoy the alone, the aloneness
Mm.
they go, because I think it will be unfair to the child, even though we find things like that in
True.
society with people who are widowed
True.
and single
Yeah.
parents and all that. Yeah,
Mm.
but it may be unfair to the child and to you if certain a lot of things need to have there are certain factors that need to be in place for you to be able to pull that off and have a child who grows in a balanced mentally, a child who is mentally balanced and spiritually, socially guided and all that, even with a single parent.
Yeah.
So
I
some of
get
the
that.
challenges, yeah, like you asked, it's majorly from within. They struggle, they fight to accept that sometimes um, we may not, we have planned that by 26 I want to get married, so that by 32 I'm done having my kids, and then I can get back into the workforce. And sometimes it will not
Sure.
happen like that. And
True.
it hits differently when people's hopes are wired that way, and it may happen, it may happen, it
Yeah.
may happen, and then it doesn't happen.
Mm.
It
Mhm.
it causes some form of um
Yeah.
mental rewiring in the system. Sometimes it can be bad, it
True.
can be detrimental, where some people want to do it by fire by force, because I have to have gotten to this level at this. And sometimes it turns out good for some, but it doesn't turn out good for some as well. um so that's within now, when the person has to fight it. And then when you have to fight the society, so there's a lot of,
Mm.
my parents are on my neck, my
Mhm.
aunties. i remember
Mhm.
I remember when I made this TikTok video and everybody screamed, even in my family. I said, the whole family is calling me now, because I attended a family event and my aunties are asking me, when are you bringing the guy? When are you bringing the guy? And me, I turned around to ask them, your mates are dying too now. When are you dying? And now it has turned to family meeting, family meeting wahala. so so when you have all that around you, it can be
Mhm.
difficult. So some people should have
True.
gotten to. So what I try to do is, it can be draining too. As a counselor, it can be
Yeah.
draining when you're trying to,
Yeah.
yes, tell them. Sometimes it will not
I
happen
get.
that way.
Mm.
Or it may happen that way, but not when you think it is. You have to wait,
Sure, sure,
for when
sure,
it is the
sure.
right time. And in your waiting, there are things you also need to do. Maybe you need to grow. I mean, I personally, when it didn't happen when I thought it was supposed to happen,
Uh-huh.
I just took it in good faith that, okay, it's time to grow. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn to become a better person. I'm going to learn to treat people better. I'm going to learn this,
Mm.
that. I'm going to do this at my work. I put myself into my work and into
Yeah.
um, becoming more self aware, and also trying to help the younger ones who are in that situation as well. And so far, when I get feedback, it's one of those things that make me happy. It's one of those things that,
Great.
gives me
Awesome.
a lot of, yeah, a lot of joy. It makes me happy. It gives me a lot of joy. So
Mm.
it just tells me that, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm on the right track
Mhm.
here. So don't give up. There are people, like I said, when you asked the first question, I think I'm here to
Sure.
encourage, maybe not some people, maybe somebody. So that's the bigger, I think that's the biggest challenge, fighting yourself that this has to happen, or it
Yeah,
has to,
yeah,
not getting to that
yeah,
realization that it may or may not happen, or it may not happen when you
yeah.
want it to happen, and then fighting your immediate external um force or support system, which is family
Mhm.
and sometimes even
Mm.
friends. So as counselors, we now tell
Mm.
people, don't ask people, when are you getting married, or you never see husband. It's not a good question,
Mm.
because you don't know if that person is
So,
in a good mental space to to tackle you back. You don't know
the,
what did
the,
you know
the,
what the
the,
person is fight. Yeah.
the thing about it is that even regarding that, thanks for your contribution to that particular question. And I'm glad to announce that MMG, Miss Grace, she's around, so I'll also be adding her right away. Okay,
Yay.
before I add MMG, yeah, before I add MMG to the conversation, that question of you should not ask singles out there when are you getting married and the rest. I thought about it for a while. I considered the two sides of it, the person who is asking it and the person who is receiving it, and even the third person, which we call the bystander, right? The ordinary man who is not the person asking the question or the person receiving the question, but who heard the question. What these people may be thinking, and I realized that it may be from a place of concern and care, but it's not properly presented, right? Properly presented being that you may not have shown so much care and interest in the other aspects of this person's life. So that by just coming to ask them about this thing, it may sound one kind and sound selfish, right? And I remember one time I did a teaching on the particular issue, and I said the best way for you to ask the person when the person is getting married is first of all to ask the person, do you even want to get married? All right. So until you are sure that the person wants to get married, there's no need asking, when are you getting married? When should we expect you to get married? Why are you not bringing somebody home right now? Why are you not presenting any person to us? Okay, so let me do an ask. MMG, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, MMG.
Hello, hello,
Good evening.
hello.
Good
Can you hear
evening.
me?
How you
Good evening.
loud and so let me
Good
ask like a typical
evening,
Nigerian now.
MMG.
Let me ask like a typical Nigerian. MMG, you don't chop.
I never chop. Oh,
Hey, wetin happen? Anyway, we plenty shall me sef I never chop. But you see, I just say I put okra soup for my status today, and I ensure that this afternoon I went to eat the okra. I just told my wife, babe, Would you like to follow me? I want to go eat okra. She said, no, you eat your okra and I'll eat my own. What I want to eat. I said, no problem. As long as we are going together. So I never chop evening food, but as evening don't pass, we go turn out to night food. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good.
Great. So let me go straight to the question. What was it that came to your mind when we asked this question? When you saw this question, how to enjoy womanhood as a single, right? How to enjoy your singlehood
To be
as
honest,
a
when
woman.
I saw it, I was actually quite happy because you see so many nonsense and, dare I say, stupid posts up and down on social media regarding, oh, my boyfriend is intimidated by me driving a jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a job in
Mm,
America that I can take, but my boyfriend is
mm,
telling me if I take it, I should consider the relationship over.
mm,
And I'm like,
mm.
Auntie, you're not married. You're single. You're meant to put
That's
yourself
right.
first. You're meant to put
Mm,
the building and enjoyment of your own life first. Because
yes,
tomorrow is not promised for anybody, even for a millionaire, a billionaire, no matter who you are, tomorrow is not promised. So
that's true.
for you to now be living your life based on somebody's ideals for you, it simply just
Mm,
means that you are actually not living life at all for yourself. So this is a good example of something that happened to an acquaintance of mine. So
okay.
in a group, we're just having a conversation, and she was like, she wants to progress in her career, but she's stuck. She's not sure where to go and what to do. And by the time I sat down to
Mm,
have a conversation with her, because I've dived into consulting and want to put my diploma in counseling that way. By the time we dived
yeah.
into it, I realized she actually did not know what she wanted, because she has literally just stuck to the book of life as a woman in a patriarchal society, which is get a degree, make your parents proud,
Mm,
then after getting a
mm,
degree, get a very good job or earn good money as a
mm,
business owner. After that, bring home a good
mm,
man, get married, start giving birth to children, and being a mother. The
mm.
end. So she did not know
The
what
way
she
you
wanted,
said the
because
end.
she's basically no, because it was the end. Because when you asked her regarding this and that, she could not really spell it out for you, because she's literally just lived life according to societal expectations until she came abroad.
Sure.
And abroad, there's no societal expectations here for you. It is proper adulthood. Figure it out yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Otherwise, you will get lost. Unlike in Nigeria, where there's that expectation placed on you, here, the only expectation is you pay your bills. Everything else is up to you. Everything else is up to
That's
you.
right.
And so, because of that, it was like a shift in her environment, where there's nobody
Yeah.
having any expectations of her, or other than you go to work, you're expected to do your job and earn your salary. That's it. Or like in other places where it's like, oh, okay, I'm sure when she was back home, it to be, you're still with this company. Have you gotten a new role? Everybody's trying to tell her how she should progress in life. And that's what she was doing for so
I
long.
get.
And that happens
I
when,
get.
as a single woman, you haven't built your own self for your own self.
Sure. Right.
So basically, you've
Right.
not enjoyed
I get.
singlehood. You've just been ticking all the boxes that society says you should tick.
That's true.
That's all you've
That's
been
true.
doing. And that's the reason why you see people say, oh, my parents want to sponsor me for um opportunity to do masters in Canada. But my boyfriend said,
Mm,
I swear to God, when I see such posts, I'm like, God, can you send an angel to knock this person so that their brain will shake small in their head and their senses will come back? Because one thing I love and admire about men will not do this nonsense. Men from beginning, even though they have all these other responsibilities, where society has said they have to provide, they have to do this, they have to do that, men know how to enjoy life for themselves, especially single men.
that's true. That's true. Because the single men are just like, hey, they want to see They are trying to achieve all the goals. They are trying to pursue to get all the goals. They are trying to do one or two things, add everything together. So if you are trying to stop them and the rest, they just feel that, hey, what is happening here? And the rest. Okay, until we are able to get MMG back, because MMG, we are unable to hear you now, right? So let me
Hello,
come
can you hear
back
me now?
to, oh, great. We can hear you now. Yes, ma'am.
So yeah,
Yes, we can.
because for me is
Mm,
that fact that men are very decisive when they want to do what they
sure.
want to do when it comes to
Mm,
them being single. My brother is single at the moment. Guy man at the moment has bought his first house. He's not asking questions on social media. Should I actually um focus on getting a girlfriend before buying my first house? Will my girlfriend be intimidated if I buy my first house and she comes and find out I'm a house buyer? But wait
mm,
for a woman to be in the same situation my brother is in. You will see her asking, I'm 25,
sure.
I want to buy my first house, but people are telling me kiniko, it will scare men away, blah 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 blah
Mm,
blah. Man,
mhm.
man is balling with first house and big car on the road. He's not caring about who it bothers and affects. It's me that is always worried about God, please protect him from policemen abroad. Amen. Man is living life and flexing. But you, the woman, oh, what will people say? What will the man say? What will the family say? And I'm like, for goodness sake, it is tiring. And I remember when I
Yeah.
started rotational dating before I met Luke, there were some friends
Sure.
that, I couldn't tell them I was rotationally dating because they were like, they made it seem as if I was men hopping. But to be honest, I made up my mind that you see the one that I was doing where it was be a good girlfriend to one person. I said, no, I made it very clear. Unless you want commitment, I am actually enjoying myself. And that was the best time of my single life. I went on
Mm.
dates like crazy. I said distance relationship is no more in my life. I was going on dates every single weekend. I chop all the restaurants that I've been seeing that I'll be doing 9 to 5 work, doing good girl paying bills, doing this time
Mm,
relationship to boyfriend. All of that went
mm.
out the window. As in, I visited TGR Friday. I visited one nice award-winning Asian curry restaurant. I enjoyed that stage. Like I was like, so this is what I've been missing. Trying to do okay. They say. I enjoyed it and I flexed it.
Mm.
Enjoyed
Mm.
it well.
Well, yeah,
And
there was
then when
also
I
a
met
time.
Luke,
Okay. Mhm.
when I then met Luke, I said to him, I'm rotational dating. No, I'm not committed to anybody. If you want commitment, put your hat in the ring. Otherwise, I have other people I'm going on dates with. Shikena,
Mhm.
I really don't care what you think. Do not ask me for my body count because it's not your business. And I do not
Mm.
want to know your body count. I am single, you are single. Keep it that way. It is not my business, it is not your business.
Right. I remember one time I told myself that I was not going to do long distance relationship again. That I was tired of long distance relationship
Yeah.
when I came into the city of Ibadan. And interestingly, while I was in Ibadan, I was interested in a particular lady. If you know Ibadan, you know the distance. For those who may know Ibadan, so I was somewhere inside the level, and this lady was somewhere in Ojo. And I said, no way, no way. This is long distance relationship because from where I was to where she was, I'll need to cross like 3 to 4 local governments. Although we are in the same city. And
Oh, Jesus.
we were in the same city, but I said, no, 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 no. I cannot imagine doing that. I cannot imagine doing that. But interestingly, what is surprising about it is that after I said I was not willing to do that, I was not ready to do that. I started dating uh, V, who is presently my wife, and she was in Makodi and I was in Ibadan. I said,
Oh, God.
I, I said I said 4 local governments away in the same city was too far from me, but I ended up traveling to Benue, sleeping on the
You
road
can imagine.
because at that time there was no functional airport
Yeah.
in Makodi. So the closest airport was Abuja, right? Abuja, Enugu, Abuja or Enugu, and both of them were still about 5 hours each to Makodi. So I started asking myself, so I'll first of all travel by road to Lagos, then from Lagos take flight to Abuja, and from Abuja use another 5 hours again on road to Makodi. So I just said, no, there's no need. Let me just be using road. So there some nights that we'll sleep on the road. So because maybe the bus developed issues and it was crazy. Sometimes I'll use 2 months, 3 months to gather transport to be able to travel to go and visit her. So when you were talking about you were done with long distance relationship, it reminded me of how I actually said I was done with long distance relationship, and I had somebody who, it's like somebody in the same city now. For people who are in Lagos, it's like you are on mainland and you are dating somebody in the island. It's long distance relationship. So for me, dating somebody, I was in Elebu, and this lady I was interested in was in Ojo. I just said that no, no, that was too long. But I ended up marrying somebody I dated from Ibadan to Makodi. Thank you so much for your contribution. So, Maureen, let me ask you this question. What are some of the ways you have seen ladies, you've seen women, single women enjoy singlehood that you would like to share with our viewer?
Okay, some of the ways single women can actually enjoy their singlehood.
Mm, mm,
Um, it by I like I said earlier, when I told myself
yeah.
this thing not do again, I
Mm,
decided to learn myself better, get to understand myself, become more self-aware,
mm, mm,
and put all my mind focus on my job. So I
mm,
think sometimes a lot of people and a lot of single women do
yeah.
not even know, they are not even very aware of their themselves. They don't even know what they want. They just know they want to. They just know they want to marry. Okay, I want this kind of guy, tall, dark, and handsome,
Mm,
this, that, and that's it. You
mm,
just want to marry. It's when that now
mm,
happens, you now discover that there are some things. There are some things I should have seen, or maybe I saw but I
yeah.
ignored. So this is
Don't
when
take
you
them
get to
serious.
understand, yes, understand yourself better. Start ticking the boxes for yourself. Even
Sure.
why am I this kind of person? Why am I like this? What's formed my person into, how did I get this personality? Why do I like
Yeah.
this? Why don't I like this? So that you know the
Mm,
kind of people you attract. That's one. Try and meet people. Like MMG said, she went on a lot of dates. You see,
yeah.
I think I like what Jehovah's Witness. I think that's what they do. They just encourage a lot of, mingling,
Hmm.
both sexes mingling, doing activities together. You're getting to
Sure.
know people, sort of network, and you somehow you get to find out whose company you enjoy more, which
Right.
yes, whose values aligns better with yours, and then you start maybe gravitating towards that person at the end of the day. So I think we
Mm,
should encourage that. It's not about bed hopping or what's it called now? Yeah, I'm double dating, or yeah, just make friends. Make friends,
mm,
not just of same sex but opposite sex. Make friends. You could be work colleagues. Just be free. Get to know people beyond, without conditioning your mind that I'm knowing this person just in case it clicks. I want to, this guy seems like a nice guy, but I want to see if I can, maybe to click, maybe, that kind of expectation. Can we just do it
mm.
without that? Just get to know the person. Get to know the
Yeah.
person. Get to know the same way you would get to know your female work colleague or a sister in
Mm,
church. Get to know a brother in church
mm,
like that. Just, without that um expectation, without that pressure.
mm.
It's actually pressure if you look at it. You're putting pressure on yourself even
Sure.
without knowing it.
Sure.
Then
Sure.
while getting to know yourself, you get to know what kind of fun things you like to do.
Yeah.
Yes, do a lot of fun things. You like to read books, buy plenty books and build a library. This is something you've been wanting to do, but you are thinking it's when I marry, I'll do it. Why won't you just start doing it? Why do you have to wait till when you marry? Am I earning well? I love to drive a Jaguar. Can I actually buy
Mm,
a Jaguar? Can I, you know, please do it if your daddy is not Otedola and he didn't buy for you and you can now afford to do it, please do it. Just like MMG said earlier, do it. Like the men would not,
mm,
go asking such questions. And I remember when we had a very bad, there was a bad period in the family. I think
mm,
my dad was very sick and all that. So
mm,
a lot of things were happening then in the family. And one of my brothers was the one who seemed to be a little bit more stable. So I remember another of my other brothers telling him, um, look out for yourself because that person, that one has been in that shoes before, and he also fell sick. That's my late brother now. He
yeah.
also fell
Yeah.
ill, and but he told this other brother of mine that everything is working out for you now, and you are dating this lady. If you want to marry her, marry her. Don't be bothered about every other person. Don't let it
Yeah.
pull you back, you know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because we come from that kind of society where you look out for each other
Yeah.
in the family and all you should. So,
Sure.
but it looked like to some people, it seemed like ah, this. Why would this person be giving such an advice? It's making him. It's going to make it seem like he's selfish or he's just going to be looking at that. It's
Yeah.
not a good advice, but it actually was because the moment he decided to, okay, this is what I want to do without thinking, would I be able to help this other person or help that other person? The moment he decided
Sure.
this is what me I want to do, things just started falling in place somehow.
Wow. Wow.
Somehow things just
Wow.
started falling in place.
Mm,
Even though after that time too, we had good times, but we still had bad times again. But then things just started falling in place both for him and
Enjoy.
for every other person. So that worry wasn't there anymore. And so this is where a good support system. I know when I was talking about the people around us, this is where a good support system
Sure.
comes. Yes. So
Sure.
someone is single in the family and the aunties and uncles have gathered. This your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He married last December.
Mm,
This one married for Easter. This one, man, it's it can be tough if only they would
yeah.
understand. I mean, I tell people this all the time, especially within my community. I tell parents this all the time. Don't pressure your daughters or your sons because they can't get married, or you should try and understand for my community members now, try and
The current
understand their
situation.
health condition, yes,
Mm,
and all that. So
mm-hmm.
don't put pressure on them. And that's coming
Not,
from,
not, e-
I
not even
remember
that.
in 20, yeah, I remember in 2017, I didn't go for, I was it early 2017? Yes, January 2017,
Mm,
my or February 2017. My mom just called me and she was crying. She was like, "See, if you don't marry, it doesn't matter." I mean, I was like, waiting to this woman this early in the morning, no, and she was just crying and she was saying, "If you don't marry, it doesn't matter. If you marry, fine.
yeah.
If you don't marry, fine. Nobody's going to chase you away
Yeah.
from your father's house. Nobody's going to stop loving you. Just do
Mm-hmm.
you. Focus on your
Mm-hmm.
job. Be better at what you
Mm-hmm.
do." She was telling me, make money, try and make money. If you don't, if I had to ask my younger brother that was with her, waiting happen,
What's happening?
waiting happen. And so she had this encounter with co-wives in the village, and they said something to her
yeah.
about her daughters and all that.
Mm,
And yes, and that was the first time I can actually remember my mom in that kind of state. So I
sure.
was happy. she defended her children. I was not
Yeah.
there. And she still came back to tell
Yeah.
me this doesn't matter. Don't listen to what
Yeah.
I am not saying it. So I tell people that I am most grateful to have such a unique Nigerian mother. She's Nigerian, no, but you know, so not everybody have
Your
such
African
support
mother is the
system.
exception.
Ah, so not everybody have such support system around them.
Yeah.
So sometimes I
Mm.
encourage people to, if you don't have it within the family, you could have such support system as in, as friends or as colleagues who understands,
Mm.
who would encourage you, who would cheer you up, and that when you remember them, you're not even thinking about what this auntie will say. You would even start laughing about it, and
Right.
so
Right.
this is it. Yes. So try and find what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and go for it. I mean,
Great.
it could just be a waiting period for
Sure.
some.
Even if
Yes, it
it's
could
not
just be
a
a
waiting
waiting
period,
period. Yeah. Yeah, even if
I
it's not a
haven't done.
waiting period, like it's not
Yeah, I
everyone that will
don't.
get married, right?
It can be transitional. Yes.
Yes, it
It
can be
may not.
transitional.
It may not be that you don't want to marry. It may be that you're not ready to get. You're not. You don't intend getting married anytime soon. You don't intend getting married right away, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the fact that, because one of the things, and I also be coming to MMG, is that one of the things we get to see people do is that, like you said, Maureen, maybe you plan getting married at 24, 25, and then you are not yet married. And guess what many people do is that they stop every other aspect of their life trying to pursue that one goal. Like, see, no, there were goals you had for 26, for 27, for 28, for 29, for 30, for 31, 32, 33. Yes, you may think that some of those goals are interwoven, right? Oh, I was supposed to my kids by this time or my kids by that time. I won't lie. Today I was happy. At one time I was alone in the house and I was just thinking randomly. And I was just happy I had two kids. I was like, imagine having three kids and having four kids in this economy. Like, am I mad? Like, I told that girl, like, oh, thank you, I have only two. Imagine I had more. How would I have been able to get to deal with all these, handle all these particular bees that are coming up right now, handle the issues that are being faced right now, and the rest. So I want to come to more, I think, Marie, I want to come to
Amen.
MMG in that. MMG, what do you have to say regarding people and their dreams generally? Because you, if I remember, you married in your 30s and you were also able to push some things for yourself and keep on doing things for yourself until Luke came around. So, what is it that you have to say to women who may want to spend all their energy, all their resources on just getting married instead of just enjoying singlehood generally?
Honestly, I would say to them that please they should go ahead though. Honestly, I'm not even being sarcastic. They should go ahead and spend all that resources. Because one thing I'm realizing is in this day and age, people
Mm,
would always do what they want to do. Despite the fact that we are in a better time than our parents were, where because of technology, everywhere you
mm,
go, there's so much information, both paid,
yeah,
both free. So if you
yeah,
decide that you want to stop your life just because you want to
mm,
get married, then please
mm,
go ahead. Because at the end of the day, the only person that you will end up harming is yourself and your
mm,
future lineage. It's yourself and your future lineage because you will end up putting yourself in a situation where it's a case of had I known, had I known, had I known. At least that
yeah,
way you don't get to blame anybody if tomorrow you don't get married. You want to get married, please fire away. Don't go and work on your self-esteem. Don't go work on your skills. Don't go work on anything. In fact, fire away. I remember when I got diagnosed with fibroids and I was told because of I didn't realize the very validity of what I signed in my operation document until I go home and I really
Okay.
read it. In the document,
Yeah.
I gave the surgeon permission that because of my fibers were so big, so when they were looking at it on the scan, they were not sure they could safely remove it. The document
Yeah.
I signed.
Hello, MMG. Oh, it's like we lost her,
Hello,
but she.
hello,
Yes, I can hear
hello.
you. Yes. Great to have you
Okay,
back.
right. Okay, so for me, the one time where I felt like, okay,
No, you were talking about the
I'm
document
looking.
that you signed when you got back home. We
Oh yeah,
lost
yeah.
you
Okay, the
when
signing.
you mentioned
Oh yeah. So I
the
then when I got back home, I read it and I actually signed that the doctor could actually give me a hysterectomy if during surgery my life became at risk based on trying to remove the fibroids.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, what? And now I have no problem with adoption, with surrogacy, but it was the fact
Mm,
that that power of choice was being taken away from me
true.
because they didn't even
True.
say, okay, because of you signed this, come and
Mm,
get some injections done, and then you can have
mm,
your egg stored for free for
mm,
IVF. No,
mm.
it was basically if we enter, it gets complicated, we're taking your womb out. And I'm like, my power of choice was taken away by my own
Yeah.
self. And I'm like, okay, let us figure out how to get a baby. And my goal that time was I want to get pregnant. When I first met Luke, that was what I told him, that my goal was to actually get pregnant and have a child. And I explained the reason why. He then said, oh, he
Mm,
wanted more than just impregnating somebody. He actually wanted a
mm.
relationship. That's why I went ahead with him. Many of the guys I met, I said to them point blankly, if you're not interested in relationship, that is good for me. My own is I'm on a
I want to
waiting
tell.
list for I want a child because NHS has not even given me um egg freezing option because I've got
Yeah.
to use my own hand to sign away my own womb.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, for me, my own focus, because I remember there was this guy that really liked me, but I said to myself, I could never date him. My friend was like, is even though he had learning disabilities, I said, no, it's not about his learning disabilities. It's the fact that he was a stingy, tight-fisted human. I said, I don't
Okay.
mind parenting with somebody like that. I'm happy to actually have a child with him. But for him to be my partner, I said to my friend, God forbid,
Yeah.
God forbid. I said, because right now, all I just want is a child. So I'm happy to actually have a child with anybody, just to actually have
Mm,
that control. But for me to
yeah.
marry this one, my friend was like, even if you manage, I said, I am not managing marriage. I have seen the ups and downs of marriage in my family history. And for that
Yeah.
reason, managing marriage is not for me. On both sides of my family, both my father's side and my mother's side, we have
Yeah.
divorce on both sides.
Yeah.
And in both sides, we've had bad marriages. And I'm like, no, I'd rather be a single mother than to be in an unhappy marriage. I'd rather be that
Yeah.
because I've always loved kids. I've always had a passion for kids. So I'd rather be a single mother than be in an unhappy marriage. But a lot of the women today that want to focus on, oh, marriage, because of what will people say, or because of answering misses. And see, if that is what you want to aim for, please go ahead. Even as I'm married to Luke, the only reason why I will even change my name down the line to Luke's son name is for the reason of it opening doors for me. Because when people see my son name, they know, okay, I'm Nigerian. As I'm taking my business higher, and if I choose to put his name in mine, it's not because of I'm married. It's because of seeing the name instantly. You just say Irish or English. That door is open for you because it will benefit me.
True.
It's like if I marry, or it's like if my sister marries Otedola today. Of course, from Otedola family, she will carry the surname now because just saying Otedola, nobody will question whether you are related to the Otedolas. Them. Just she's Miss Otedola. Let us see what she wants. We may be able to get connection through her.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're
That's
not being being strategic with your own life, and you choose that marriage is more important to you, please go ahead. My own is, my prayer has always been, God, my loved ones and my family and my friends, my children and our children will never be connected to children born from such a person. Because
Why?
such
Why? Okay, yeah, tell me the because.
because
Tell me
because such a person did not get married because she was passionate about being a housewife, wanting to be a mom. Because there are
the.
women who they've grown up and all they've wanted all their lives is just to be a mom, a housewife.
True,
It's their
true,
dream, either because of
true.
their environment they grew in, or because of books they read, or just because of a feeling they have
Mm,
on the inside of them. Those women are not the
true,
ones I'm referring to. I'm referring to the ones
true.
that deliberately put their life on hold because they must be misses by force.
By
And they
all
don't
means.
care. And they don't care who they get married to. If you notice some of these women that have 15 children, 16 children, all by the same men,
Mm,
go and find out from them. These men from the beginning were like them. They wanted a big house of children. They either grew up as only children or only had one sibling, or their sibling died, or they grew up in care and wanted that big family. They will always match up with somebody that has the same ideals about wanting
true,
a battalion of
true,
children. You
true.
you have no vision like that. Your own vision is, my name has changed to Mrs. Edawo. That's your own vision. So why would I want my children to be connected to somebody like that? Because at the end of the day, when the clouds have cleared from your eyes, you will see those children as a
Mm,
burden. You will treat
that's
those
true.
children the way a typical African mother treats her children, like a
In fact,
necessity she
you
has to deal with.
you will start arguing that it is. You will not start arguing that it's, you see those people start complaining that marriage and children have stopped them from their career, have slowed them down, have done this and that.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, it never existed. The career never existed. Like you were
God bless
single
you.
for 5 years, you were single for 7 years, you were single for 10 years. What like I usually tell people, I say I was a bachelor for 7 years. I mean, from when I got my first job after NYC, from when I got my first job after NYC to when I got married was 7 years. And till
That
today,
is
I
it.
still usually ask myself, in that 7 years, what did I achieve for myself? What were those things I did for myself? Did I just spend 7 years chasing that, oh, I want to get married, I want to get married? So those kind of people you're talking
Exactly.
about, is that they would wait 7 years like that, 5 years like that, not doing anything. Then by the time they get
Mm-hmm.
married and it dawns on them, and you now hear them start complaining that marriage, children, they will stop you. And see, for the period you were
Exactly.
single, what were you doing? What did you do with your single life?
I, I,
For
I,
that
I,
five,
I don't want that kind of negative energy near me or my family,
eh,
because, for example,
it's
one
like
of my
Maureen wants to say
friends,
something. Okay, yes, MFG, yes, once you have done with that thought, it's like Maureen
one of
wants to say something.
two
MFG,
of my
try to.
friends that are married and with kids. One of them, Ella AZ, you know her, she's on Facebook. Ella just finished a
Yes.
project management course last month. She's just also rounding up her PhD. Now she has a baby. Her baby just turned 1 year old in July. Do you know sometimes she will put that baby on her back while she was doing her project management course? Because sometimes,
Yeah.
because her husband is at work while she's at home, she's doing her catering
Yeah.
business, doing project management course, looking after a baby. She did not say, oh my God, because now I have a baby, all the dreams I want to achieve. Because before she got
Mhm.
married, before she had the baby, this girl had big dreams, big goals, and she was pushing for it. My friend
True.
Nora is the same thing.
Yeah.
This September, she has 2 children, 2 boys. And this is someone who has done her master's and went back to retrain as a nurse. I have
Mm.
another friend, Chidima. She's just finished her nursing certification in America. She's here in the UK,
Wow.
moving on with another different exam. These are all single women that their careers, from when they
Mm.
were single, they were chasing it like crazy. When they got married or into relationship, they did not stop. They continued.
Mm. Mhm.
So at the end of the day, if you decide that because of marriage you want to put yourself on hold, please, oh, auntie, I will not tell you not to. Go ahead. Just make sure tomorrow when you don't have networks, when you don't have connection, you don't come and go, female friendships are weak. Female friendships are dangerous. No, 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 no. People don't know how to make friends. People don't know how to keep friends. My friend, shut up. When your mates were building network, you were busy in, oh, what a poor soul. If he was my man, I know I would not treat him that way. You were busy doing pick me up and down the place until they picked you. So auntie, let us hear what.
Oh
Maury, you
my
wanted
God.
to say
Yeah, I just remember there's this thing my elder sister and I always, my elder
something?
sister, she's an educator and she teaches um what's it called, this age-based education and children with special needs. So she's
Yeah,
always, she's just lamenting, and we talk about how parents sometimes forget their kids in school. And I always
mm,
tell her, marriage is the finish line, children are the trophy. That's how it is these
Uh-huh.
days. Marriage is the finish line. I've gotten to this finish line, and the children are the trophy. So after that, they
Wow.
don't care
what?
anymore. They don't care anymore. If you ask them, I am
More
Mrs. This.
MMG
I
says
have
the
two
end.
children, and
MMG
and
says
that's
the
just
end.
so that's it, and that's why you see a lot of decay in society too, because they are no longer, some parents are no longer intentional about bringing up their kids, and
Yeah,
I also don't want that. I mean, I tell people
Mm-hmm.
I don't have kind of people in my circle, so I don't
yeah,
know. I don't want all those shenanigans, and so
yeah.
that's it. If that's
Correct.
what some people want for their lives, fine.
Mm.
It's really
That's
crazy
good.
out
That the
Exactly.
thing about it is that usually I get to even some young ladies now. I see some young ladies who are okay. They are single, right? They just have a job. Maybe they have a job with which they are managing. I'm like, okay, why don't you? What's your plan about your business? What's your plan about career? What's your plan about schooling? Going back to school or doing things and the rest. Why don't you just start living that life and the rest? Um, if you ask
there. And
them,
the
do you
mistake
want
is,
some?
sorry, yeah, sorry to cut you deep. And another thing, I don't know, I think single people don't see is waiting does not mean you just sit around and wait. You could be doing all these other
Exactly.
things you are doing, and
Exactly.
then you would meet that person while doing those things. And
Mhm.
everything just aligns. Like MMG talked about her friend who did project management course, and there are
Yeah.
some men at the end of the day you feel, when I get married I'll do this, and then you get married and he's not going to let you do it.
Mhm.
Ah,
So you've lost
and
out at the end of
so,
the day.
to add to what Maureen
You've
said
lost
about
out.
he's not going to let you do it. Of course,
Mhm.
when you were making marriage the do and all, you were accepting that he will be your lord and master now. So of course, he will not let you do what you want to do because you
The,
decided
the
to chase a man that no matter
the
what,
funniest
as
is
bad
that
as the bad,
he,
let it be that you're married.
the funniest is that he does not even trust you. Most of the time, for women who say he's not allowing me to do what I want to do, first of all, you want to even see their track records before that point of he will not allow me to do what I want to do. What is
Mm-hmm,
your track
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
record like?
Yeah,
Have you been
what were you
doing
doing?
things? Have you been doing things and the rest? Did he see you as somebody who was ambitious? Did he see you as
Yes.
somebody who was goal oriented, who was passionate, who was driven? Right? Because right now that you just all of a sudden you are just saying you want to do so and so, he feels that you are making that decision out of peer pressure. He feels that you don't know what you are talking about. He feels
Bro,
that
let me give you a personal example here based on what you just said. When my dad was alive, my mom always used to give us this story. She used to work in a News Watch canteen where Dele Giwa was killed. My mom is very
yeah,
pretty, very shapely and everything. My dad was like, he wasn't happy with her working there, blah, 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 because she used to work
mm,
in catering. She used to run the restaurant there,
mm,
that she needs to resign from there, blah, blah, blah. My mother told him point blankly, because she was
Mm,
working when my father met her. If I'm going to resign, you're going to open business for me. And until that business is
quite.
open, I'm not going anywhere. And guess what?
That's
That is what happened. My dad ended up giving her money to actually open a Coca-Cola kind of warehouse. In fact, in Ikeja,
okay.
when I was
Yeah.
growing up, my mom was one of the biggest Coca-Cola Gouda and Star distributors when I was
Wow.
growing up. And
Yeah.
anytime my dad did that nonsense of, oh, he was not going to let her work, my mother at one point, Seaway, actually asked my mother to come and be their main distributor in Ibadan when they wanted to start. My dad told my
Yeah.
mom no, because
Mm,
he did not want her to. My mother actually said, okay, that's fine, because she did not have the money to put up
yeah.
for the car and the investment Seaway. If not, my mother would have been Seaway franchisee in Ibadan. But
Yeah.
what did my mother do? She continued her Seaway business in Ikeja there. She's still doing it till today. She continued her Seaway business there, and she moved. My mother was the one woman that no man could tell her you cannot work. She grew up working. They know born you
Mm,
well. She will walk behind my father's back. My mother sold gold, jewelry until Arabas rubbed off. That's when she stopped her jewelry sale. My father said you cannot do
mhm.
no wala. I should be sitting down inside the house and still working. Or what is your problem now? As in, so when I hear women say he did not allow me work, I'm like, I think my mother should come and give you people lessons on how you can work while they say they did not allow you work, because I can never remember my mother sitting down idle doing nothing. Either she was working
The
for my
truth.
dad or working on the side
Mm.
doing her own thing.
The truth about it, MMG, is that in today's reality, 2023, um, a person cannot even say they don't allow me to work, unless, of course, you are married to the devil. And if you are married to the devil, you chose him. That's the first thing we should agree on, is that unless you are married to the devil, and if you are married to the devil, you chose him. Because these days, um, some men may say, oh, they want their wives to be at home so that their children get the
Mm,
best of care and the best of attention. But with today's reality, there are a lot of things you can do from home. I mean, a lot. The last
mm-hmm,
time I
mm-hmm,
visited my office, the last time I visited my physical office, the physical law office, I'm not talking about the counseling office right now, the physical law office may be in June, because although I planned
mm,
visiting it in July, I had exams in my master's course. Then I had health challenges, and the health challenges spanned through all through the month of August. But even at that, I was still working from home. I'm still on my phone, giving instructions, giving directions, giving counsel, doing things, and the rest. So even if a woman says he does not allow me work, the question becomes that it may just be he's not wanting you to work this particular kind of work and this particular type of work. That's where creativity now comes in, just like your mom did. Now that I'm at home, what are the kind of businesses I can do from home? What are the online jobs I can do? Do I need to open a Facebook market? Do I need to open something that I mean you can run a store without having to touch any of the goods, without having to touch any of the items, whether it is on Amazon, or it is on Facebook Market, or it's on GG and the place. So you
mm-hmm.
create an online store, you are just the go between A and B, right? So that is where it comes to, like, your single life. What are you living? How are you doing? Because if you are not doing anything, then
Yeah.
get that man, what you are presenting is an empty person. And by the time you are not trying to say, oh, I am a human being, the person is now wondering, like, I don't get it. I did not marry a human being. Andres, okay, so that I don't take all of your evening, we have this already some minutes into the night, and I don't want to take all of your evening. So I want to take the final word from, if you have questions, kindly drop them in the comment section. Um, But let me take final words. Maureen. Let's start with Maureen. Nuanchi. What's that your middle name again? Nuanchi. I'm trying to see how I can pronounce it. Help me out.
In this
Uh,
period,
sorry, we
it's
are not
not
hearing you. Sorry, you have to start again. Apologies.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so like I
Yes,
said
louder.
earlier, in this being single, being single is not don't take it as a curse. It's not a curse. It's a period that God has created for us to find ourselves. That's what I'll call it, because that's what I've been doing, discovering myself daily. There are some things that happen sometimes with people, and I tell myself, oh, I didn't know I'll react like this too, or I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know I could even come out to handle this situation like this. So it is a
Yeah.
time for, yes, for single people to become more aware of themselves, find themselves, and be happy in that state. Don't look at it like it's a curse, or it's a state.
Yeah.
It's a phase that has to move past. It has to move very fast for you to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And that process, you're not going to get it back. You may not, or may never ever get it back again once you get
Mm-hmm.
to that other phase of life. So try and enjoy. It may be hard. You may hear all those things people say, or what society tells you and all.
Mm-hmm.
Try find a way to block it out. Build a very good support system for yourself. Enjoy the phase. Enjoy that. Enjoy the process that comes with it. Focus solely on you.
Mm-hmm.
Find you, discover yourself for yourself, and then for that future that you want. So that's all
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell the single people out there. That's what
Thank
I'll
you
tell the
so
single
so
people
much.
out there. It's not a curse.
And that's
Enjoy it.
amazing. That's powerful. Yes. That's very powerful. I would like to hear what would be your final word, MMG, so that Luke does not come after me to say I've taken his wife for the night.
Well, for me, I would just resonate what I've said before. Unless you have
Mm.
that genuine desire and calling to be
Yes.
a mom, and for you that's your goal, please
Yes.
do not come and be disturbing people that my husband said. Focus on getting yourself developed career wise. Otherwise, if you want to be one of those women that because you want to do I'm married now, auntie,
Mm.
OYO will be your case, because there are so many women that are in these boats. There was a friend of on Facebook who made a post that a lady approached her and asked her that, does she know XYZ guy? She looked at the message, because she's a single lady, but she's very entrepreneurial. She's always selling dresses, and very young girl. So she quickly did a screenshot and sent the message to the lady. And the lady said, oh, you didn't reply him. I was wondering why. She was like, oh, from the way he was commenting and saying hello, I like to get more about you, I could just tell that this was someone that was already meeting some, he already had a partner somewhere. Lo and behold,
Mhm.
she found out from this woman that the day that guy was messaging her, it was a day before their traditional marriage, Abi Kotu marriage. And guess what? She still went ahead and married him. No caps. She
He
still
will
went
change.
ahead and married him. Exactly. So
He will change.
if that is you, if to you marriage is the be all and all, I wish you well. Please go ahead. It is not my place to tell you as a single woman, because some of you will be like, oh, because you're not married, oh, because you're married to a white man. Auntie, ride on into the sunset. You want to chase being Mrs. as your life's calling. I wish you well. My children and the loved ones, my loved ones' children will never connect with yours. Is that simple? To the single women who are determined to be moms and housewives, because genuinely in their heart of heart that is their calling, in their heart of heart that
Mm.
is a vision and goal they've had. may you meet a man who truly understands that calling and makes provision
mm,
for it, because
mm.
everybody's dreams are valid, and your own dream is not putting
True.
on hold your single life. For you, that is the
True.
life you wanted. Children running around with pitter patter of tiny feet, you sitting down at home and being a
True.
housewife, baking, cooking, mothering. That is a valid dream. So please, sis, go for it. But you see those ones that they have no ambition other than to do, all the single ladies and be showing hand to their single friend that they are married. Auntie, I beg, carry
I'm be
go.
doing
Anything
anko.
your
I'm be
eyes
doing
carry
anko
am.
every Sunday.
I say exactly.
They want to
Anything your eyes
on
see, carry go.
matching pajamas. Thank you. Thank you so
Oh
much, MMG.
God.
Thank you. Of course, for those who don't know, MMG is going to still be with us next week, Thursday. She's still going to be with us on the last Thursday of September, because throughout this month she is my co-host for all the topics and all the discussions we are going to be having. Right? MMG said something, and she mentioned something regarding those who have the dream of being stay-at-home moms, full-time housewife. If that is your dream, if that is your calling, like MMG has said, it is valid. And please, right now, you still have a lot you can do. So you can still start learning how to do some trading online. You can still start learning maybe how to
Mm-hmm.
be a seamstress so that you can make your children's clothes, right? You can be making
Yep.
your children's
Yep.
clothes. You can see there are many things you can right now. If that is your goal, you can start learning how to be a home teacher to homeschool your
Yep.
children,
Yep.
right? This
Yep.
is my goal, to be the mother of my family, to be the mother of my children. There are still many things you can learn right now. You can learn how to be a caregiver so that you become that auxiliary nurse to your children and the auxiliary nurse to your husband. So you become that, you can do some basic medical, give some basic medical
Mm-hmm.
attention. So even if that is your dream, even if that is your dream that hey, I want to be a full-time housewife, there are a lot of skills, there are a lot of
Yep.
things you still need to learn to do. A time will come you will need to start learning how to mentor other wives, because there are some people who are just going to be career women but they still want to have a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
because they want to be these white collar career women, right? It may take so much from them that they will need the wisdom of the full time stay at home moms to be able to balance, to be able to know how to assign some things, to be able to know how to cook some meals down, do some
Mm-hmm.
things down, avoid some emergencies, and the rest. So even if you are choosing to be a stay at home mom, you can still be a coach and a mentor to other stay at home moms, and they'll be paying you for it. That's why I said if you say
That
we are
is
in
true.
2023 and you want to do this, there are a lot of things you can do. I would like to
Mm-hmm.
end tonight with the fact that we complain against child bride, children being married off just because they have attained puberty, because we wanted women to find themselves. We wanted
Mm.
women to have a life of their own. Like, why is it that before she could even get a grasp on life, why is it that before she could even know herself, you have married her off to one old man? And so the
Mm-hmm.
different laws came in that, for example, in Nigeria, until you're 18 years old, you cannot do traditional marriage. Until you're 21 years old, you cannot do statutory marriage. But these days, even with school and the rest, many people don't get to graduate until they're about 24, 25, 26, thereabouts, before they can start talking about marriage. Now, if we made laws, we did campaign, we push for things for you to be able to find your life so that you don't get married at the age of 12, 9, 10,
Mm-hmm.
11, 12, 13, and now you are getting married at the age of 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. It is an embarrassment and an insult on us if you don't have a life by the time you are getting married. It means that the life we gave you from when you were 9 years old to when you were 26 years old, you wasted it.
You've wasted it.
What you just did is that all those campaigns, all those
Mm-hmm.
protests, all those feminist movements from years back, pushing that women should be allowed to find themselves, have their life, and the rest. It means that you wasted it. You spat on their faces. You spat on the faces of all these people who fought for you to have a life of
Yeah,
your
you
own.
basically are
So if
basically
you
saying
see
that
all right,
feminists are useless. That's basically what you're
that's
saying.
true. Yeah, he actually said that I don't need all this right. I don't need all these opportunities.
Yep.
Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how many? Do you know how many grants are out there for women? How many grants? How many opportunities that are
A
not there for men?
lot. Yeah,
I
a
mean, if a
lot.
man, if a male entrepreneur comes here and a female one comes here, the world is most likely going to sponsor the woman than the man.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If there's need for free education for the male child or for the girl child is most likely going to get that free education. If there's going to be so everything has been jet towards you to give you that life. If you don't take advantage of that life, if you don't have that life, it is an embarrassment to us. It is an insult
Mm.
to us. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has watched us far. Share this with your friends so that they get to learn the same things that you are learning. Thank you, Maureen, for being with us today. Thank you, Mercy Grace. Of course, Mercy Grace is my person. Mercy Grace, you can see I was very nice today, unlike last time when you came and you were with Luke, and I used this as opportunity to pay back. But today, it was not. it, was, it was not like that today. So thank you so much, family and friends. And if you need counseling, you want to speak with Mercy Grace one on
Mm-hmm.
one, or you want to speak with Maureen one on one, please you can contact us using the details on this particular channel. Just contact us and we'll contact you with them and they will be able to help you. And lastly, I want to say this on behalf of Maureen. Please ensure that you pay attention to your genetic health. No matter how much you are in love, if you are AS and AS, do not dare getting married until you have first of all consulted with a genetic counselor. And most genetic counselors will tell you no, first of all, or let they are asking you what other options do you have? Do you want to have kids? Are you going to do artificial insemination? Well, I don't know. Me, I'm a sex, marriage, and family life counselor. I'm not a genetic counselor, so I cannot be doing amiibo in a field that is not my own. Thank you so much, ladies, for being
Thank
around
you.
and from the
Thank you
ancient
for
and modern
hosting
city
us.
of Ibadan. Mm-hmm. From my ancient and modern city of Ibadan, the city of brown roofs and every other thing. What to say thank you. Good night.
Good
Good
night, beautiful
night.
people. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.